World War I by Kaylee Blankenship and narrated by Kaylee Blankenship. World War I was fought between 1914 and 1918. The war was comprised of two different alliances that made up the power players of the war. The first of the alliances is called the Triple Alliance. This alliance is comprised of Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. The second alliance was called the Central Powers. This alliance comprised of Russia, France, and Britain. Some of the main reasons that the alliances were formed were due to new imperialism. New imperialism is a power play between all of these European nations. Each nation wants to be greater than the other and show the force by conquering other countries. The European countries involved with new imperialism worked to impose economic and political power across the world. They also attempted to create a single world economy. One of the main countries at the forefront of new imperialism was Germany. Germany could see a war coming and knew that they needed a strong naval fleet in order to defeat the British if they fought. They enlisted Admiral von Tirpitz that had a plan to provide Germany with a high seas fleet to match that of Britain. Admiral von Tirpitz pushed for the naval law to be passed for 16 battleships in 1898. The law was revised in 1900 to include 38 battleships, and by the year 1917, the law would allow for a full naval fleet. Another important person for Germany was General von Schlieffen. General Schlieffen devised a two-stage plan that was later called the Schlieffen Plan. Germany seemed to be quite prepared for war. They had ramped up their navy, they had a plan for attack, and then they also called for another 800,000 men to be in their military. Each time Germany took a step towards their military powers, other European nations were scared and felt they needed to increase their numbers as well. On June 28, 1914, a Serbian nationalist assassinated the heir to the Austria-Hungary's throne. Austria contacted Germany before they retaliated against Serbia to be sure that if Russia were to fight, Germany would back Austria. On July 28, 1914, Austria declared war. Once war was declared, Russia mobilized its military in response. When Russia began their mobilization, Germany enacted the Schlieffen Plan to keep Russia from gaining any advantages. Germany declared war against Russia August 1, 1914, and then Germany declared war against France August 3, 1914. Once war was declared against France, Germany enacted the Schlieffen Plan. The Schlieffen Plan allowed for Germany to conquer France in two different directions. This two-part plan included Germany coming in from the north and going through Belgium, which was a neutral territory, and coming at them from behind, and also facing France on their border. Britain declared war on Germany August 4, 1914, after hearing of the Schlieffen Plan enacted by Germany. Once Germany traveled into Belgium, which was a neutral country, Britain had no choice but to step into the war and protect Belgium. Germany did not anticipate Britain stepping in to help Belgium as quickly as they did. Belgium fought back to hold back the troops while they crossed over the border into France. The Germans are defeated at the Battle of Marne, which is only 30 miles from Paris. In the east, Russia began to mobilize. Russia pushed back on Germany to relieve some pressure from France. Eventually, the battles became too much for France and they ran out of food and supplies. The Germans intercepted messages about the Russians and were able to defeat them at the Battle of Tannenberg. At the end of 1914, it was apparent to both sides that neither one was strong enough to defeat the others. The Allies and Central Powers began to recruit other countries. World War I was fought using many different types of warfare. Trench warfare became one of the most widely used, and they also used poisoned gas to help their efforts. Chlorine gas and mustard gas were often used. Mustard gas would often cause internal and external blisters and sometimes death. Germany used U-boats or submarines to defeat the British Navy. After 3 years of fighting, the Allies were able to convince the countries of the Central Powers to sign armistice. The only country that remained was Germany. On November 11, 1918, Germany was forced to sign an armistice. At 11 a.m. on November 11th, the fighting stopped. Germany was ordered to give up all guns, airplanes, and submarines. They were also asked to pay the damages for the war and take total responsibility.